Now look at you walking in here looking all pretty and angry and mean and good. I know you didn't get your hair done so you could just sit down and just sit still.
Hey, we trying to have a good time tonight. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. It's my birthday.
So this black first is Ron Brown. Ron Brown was confirmed as the first black secretary of the Department of Commerce in 1993. Joined the Army immediately after graduating from Middlebury College and became the only black officer in the U.S. Army post in West Germany. After discharge, he entered politics, becoming district leader of the Democratic Party in Mount Vernon, New Jersey in 1971. That's when I was born. He relocated to Washington, D.C., where he was spokesperson and deputy director of the Urban League's Washington operations and worked in the offices of Senator Edward Kennedy. Kennedy appointed Brown deputy manager of his presidential campaign in '79. Now in the national spotlight, he became chief counsel, then deputy chairman for the DNC. President Clinton appointed Brown Secretary of Commerce when he took office, and the Senate confirmed the nomination on January 14, 1993, making Brown the first black to hold that post. He died April 3rd, 1996, with his staff in an airplane crash off the coast of Croatia.
So the next thing I'm interested about is the January 6th Commission. The reason I'm saying that is because should we have an investigation to see what happened? I mean, we all know what happened, but the fact that a bunch of people, a bunch of Republicans are against even just having an investigation to understand. And there were these brave officers were awarded the Medal of Honor, and 21 GOP candidates voted against them having the Medal of Honor, which I think is ridiculous. But they want to be the party of law and order. They're not getting a January 6th commission. I don't understand it. Mr. Smith, what are your thoughts on that?
Whether or not the words of the former president actually incited violence or actions or didn't, I find it irrelevant. Look, those folk did what they did. They should be arrested for the crimes they committed. The DOJ should handle that quickly and swiftly. And what we need to do is get some control under this country about these institutions and these principles that we say we believe in. We say we believe them. And get back to that so that we can have more important decisions about, yet again, the kitchen table.
Did you see that the
woman,
the
property,
she was
the school, the college?
Excuse me.
And
did you see
the
woman that was just pled guilty, and so they gave her I think it was 5 years of probation or something like that. She pled guilty, and the charge was ridiculous. So she was the first one to plead guilty to.
My daughter is starting college in September. What happened to that white lady don't have nothing to do with what's going to happen to my daughter in the next 4 years. I care about my daughter and my ability to provide for her.
All right, so your thought process.
Put gas down, get jobs.
There definitely should be a commission. I mean, that was a terroristic act, a terroristic event in America. When I got home and saw that, I was working that day. I mean, my phone, the notifications were going through the roof, but when I put it on the news, it was surreal, because you only see this in other countries, in third world nations, is I think the general consensus. So we do have to do an investigation on how it got to that. But that said, and you and I talked about this before, Ryan, one thing that Kellyanne Conway did correct, and I think, and Bernie Sanders tapped into it too, because I thought everything was fine. I gotta be honest with you. 8 years of Obama, I mean, I knew something about the Tea Party, but I didn't think it was that dramatic. They sensed and knew how angry Americans were. And to this day, that caught me completely blindsided. I know there was still racism, and even worse, the rich people, many rich people want to oppress and make sure you keep your $8 an hour job while meanwhile CEOs are getting 15 and 22 billion before their tax bonuses or their stock bonuses. So I was not aware of that, and I'll be one. If I'm the first human to ever say that, I'll be the first human to say it. But I didn't realize how angry people were. And it's funny, when I tour the state now and I talk to these people, you know, they're still mad. But I think what we have to make sure we don't get into is we have to make sure that we still talk to those people.
Sure.
There's Democrats I disagree with, there's Republicans I disagree with, but you know, if I was fortunate enough to become senator, I have to get them in a room, and we're gonna, because we are more similar than we are different. If I put 150 topics down, all of us together, we won't go 150 around the table or 80 on things we agree on, but there's 20, 30, so we need to at least work on those. But I think that, you know, there needs to be an investigation. I am curious how, I would like more information on how that happened. But just like they investigated Katrina and how that fell to pieces, and 9/11, you know, we have to make sure, just like COVID, you know, there's going to be another something. I mean, obviously this thing now we're on D+ or D and we went to D something. We have to make sure that, and we have to investigate why we didn't have a plan in place to protect. I mean, your job as any politician who wins, your number one job isn't to go golfing 400 times a year. It is to protect the people, and that includes people on both sides of the aisle. And I think that we need to definitely investigate that. And it's not out to get Trump. It's not about that. I just want to know exactly how this transpired and why. And apparently, like the FBI had tips, but they didn't call the National Guard in because somebody wouldn't make the decision. Like, that needs to come out.
Sure.
So when this happens next time, we know what to do.
Gotcha.
Okay,
This is
stop, no, I didn't time out.